Boo! This is Brother Eric, your local 308 full-time boogeyman with a very, very important message. Let me get this camera just right. You've got to hear this. You know, we're all about trying to inspire you to be the change. And we call one of our missions one of our missions is Operation hashtag We Are the Union. The members of the union are the union. And as many of you know, there's great dissatisfaction with our unions. When there is 100% dissatisfaction, there will be 100% change. But what kind of change? Everyone's got their ideas. We all have plans. The one thing that's the hardest to do is to look at ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves, well, what can I do? What can we do to make it better? We can have elections, we can listen to people's promises, we can try to get the Teamsters, we could try to get someone else, we could boycott and not pay our dues, but all of that stuff is actually pretty easy. Because the hardest work brings you the best result. And the hardest work would be to reform the union for the members to take them over. Local 241, Local 308. So for Local 308, one of our big major projects is to reform the bylaws. The bylaws, for those of you who don't know, they govern our union, the way business is conducted in our union, the way our affairs are conducted, the way it's handled and governed. And these bylaws, unfortunately, are often used and abused. We all know the bylaw about the dues. Dues have to be raised, but there's a lot of other bylaws that aren't necessarily followed with such vigor. So some of the bylaws need to be improved. This video is a little long, but it's very important that you listen. The only way we can change these bylaws is for the members to vote on them. So me and a handful of quite a few co-workers in Local 308 across different crafts have come up with these 18. It's actually 18. Before it was 19. It's 18 bylaw proposals, revisions, new and old, to get this started. Before we turn them in, we put them in our own private group, tried to get some feedback on that. Now we're going totally public for everyone to know about it. But we especially want all the Local 308 members to know. So let's just get through this. I'm going to read through these real quickly. There is a link in this video. I really want you to click on it. It's a survey. It's a very neat survey for each bylaw. Look at the bylaw. If you like it, click yes. If you don't like it, click no, or I'm not sure. And make sure you put your comments in the little comment field about what we could do, what you would like to see done to make that bylaw a little better. And then we're going to take all of your feedback through this democratic process, and we're going to submit them to the union office for an official reading at the next meeting, and then the meeting after that will be the vote. So I think the way things are going with timing, is very possible that the vote for these bylaws will be on the same night, that the same meeting that nominations are made for union officers. So every office, every seat in the union office is up for grabs in October for nomination. There will be a vote, an election in November. But we want to get these bylaws in right there on the same time. So anybody who's in official capacity who doesn't who raises objections to the bylaws that you think are really important, the bylaw revisions that you think are important, then you're going to know that person is probably not someone that you would want to nominate, or someone you would not want to elect. Um, our leadership cannot be our bosses. Our leadership must be our helpers to empower us. So let's get started. I'm giving you the summaries. I want you to click the link. You can read the summaries. I have a video reading of each one, and we did the complete bylaw text. Number one, the first one is all full-time officer salaries will be linked to their latest classification at the top rate. Okay, so if you are a CSR, your top rate is like 30 something an hour, or you're a janitor and you become president, secretary, vice president of the union, your salary will be the top rate of that classification. Then if we negotiate a really great contract with nice raises, guess what? Your raise goes up too. But this supersedes the previous bylaw, which says basically you can vote, bring people in, and they can vote and give you a raise on your salary. So it's a merit-based pay. We want to crush business unionism and replace it with revolutionary unionism, and that is a member-oriented union that where no officer is better than the member, no member is better than the officer. We work together, and our officers help us to get what we want to get done, and they will not have any exclusivity when it comes to their compensation. Number two, the second bylaw, no officer can profit from a service provider contracted by Local 308. This is to rid any chance of any type of corruption where a union officer can, make a deal and with some outside entity, and they can sell something to us, and that officer gets a kickback. Number three, whenever you see the word in the bylaw, who are present at the meeting or any elections, and the bylaws, every dues paying member must have the ability to vote. So everybody has to vote. It comes to elections, bylaws, even motions, and the union has to use modern technology to ensure that every member votes. So if you've never been to a meeting, you don't go to meetings, you can't go to meetings, you don't want to go to meetings, you at least as a dues paying member can have a say in how your union is run. And you don't have to be forced to go to some place way out in my neighborhood or near my neighborhood, which is pretty far south. Number four, those who wish to run for Local 308 office only need 2 meeting attendant credits instead of 6. Because currently, if you want to run for office, you have to have credits for attending 6 meetings. This is not typical at all. Many unions, including 241, have no meeting requirements. Just make sure your dues are paid. Make sure your dues are paid up. Okay. Number 5, give members the privilege of nominating stewards, increasing steward training classes, and permit stewards to attend executive board meetings and receive dues discounts for volunteering service. That's a lot, but we need our stewards to be able to be nominated from the ranks, okay? Not because the bylaws say the executive officers have to appoint the stewards. Well, guess what? If you like the boogeyman, I guarantee you, if you a boogeyman, a boogie woman, ain't no elected executive board member is going to nominate you to be a steward. So we got lots of us. There's a lot of boogeymen. There's a lot of boogie women, and we are hated by the executive board. Most of them, they will not nominate us, but members might nominate us to be stewards. Okay, might nominate you. I don't know. I'm not saying nominate me for anything. I'm just saying we need to have that in the control of the members, not people who are elected, because then they just start bringing their friends in. And we don't want that. We want a member-led grassroots organization. We don't need business unionism. That's business unionism is with you bring your friends in. There's cronyism and corruption. Number 6, guarantee that officers in service to the union will be paid their full-time rate of their craft classification, even if they're part-time. So if you're an apprentice, if you're a CSA, you apprentice and CSA get paid less than the full-time workers in that classification. So if you're an officer or a steward and you are doing union work, you will get paid the full-time rate, not the part-time, not your typical part-time rate. Again, you're like, oh, that's a bad idea or whatever. Well, then make sure you click on the link and vote no. Or you're like, yeah, that's a good idea. Click on the link, make sure you vote yes, okay? Because we really want to just comb through these, and then if anything is outright no, majority no, we're not going to submit it, okay? Bylaw votes must be secret ballots in order to prevent intimidation. This is crucial. At the union meetings, if you've never attended one, votes at the meeting are typically done by people saying aye or people standing in a room. I guarantee you, if you have a killer proposal, it's just the best thing is gold. And there's a party in that union hall, whether they're elected or not, and they preach and rail and talk about how terrible this thing is, a whole lot of people aren't going to stand up, especially if officers speak against it, because they hold power and they can even punish other elected officers by not giving them release time, letting them off work to do union business and get union payroll. So we want to eliminate all of that possible cronyism, and we want to ensure that secret ballots, that is writing it down on a piece of paper, that will be your bylaw vote. Next one, properly completed petitions count as votes for motions at union meetings. So, and I've witnessed this too. You might have a petition, and you get like 50, 100 people to sign it that says we want our union to do such and such, and you bring it and you turn it in. The officers can look at it and go psh, 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 and say, okay, everyone, let's pass the motion. Anyone want to second it? And no one will second it, because it's usually brought up at the end of the meeting when everyone's left, right? So especially if it's controversial, it won't work. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you had 1,000 people filling out a petition who were in good standing. It would not hold anything in a union meeting. Isn't that ridiculous? So we want to change that. So check that bylaw out. We got the specific wording in the link. Vote yes, no, maybe so. So the next one, monthly mass membership meetings with all sensitive information withheld must be published online. So you have so many members who can't make it to the meetings, right? They don't know what happened at the meeting. So we tried to get something with the minutes. You know, the president and the secretary even suggested it. So, you know, we put together a petition. We got signatures, and they said, no, we never said that. So they don't want to they don't want to publish the minutes. So we are like, okay, fine. And people say, yeah, that's unusual for a union to publish the minutes. Okay, fine. So we need some kind of report, okay? And that has to be done. If we don't put it in the bylaws, they could just say, well, you know, we don't have time, whatever. But if we put it in the bylaws, then we got something we can enforce as the membership. And we can say to our elected leaders, hey, man, you have this bylaw here. You're supposed to give us a monthly report and publish it online with sensitive information withheld. The next one, create a new position for executive board, assistant, and stewards for all departments during the midnight shifts. So there'd be a small group of people, but they'll be able to help everybody across all the different crafts, you know, the janitors, car servicers, operators, the clerks, supervisors, whoever needs help. We got people that are on from 2100 to 0500. All right? Next one. Incentivize members to attend union meetings. Have a little rewards program. Give people a little gift card if they come to so many meetings. Come up with these things like that to encourage it. It's important for people to come to meetings as much as possible. You learn a lot. You can build with other people and uh, uh, um, figure out ways to share information with coworkers and organize them for action. So let's reward it. That was one suggestion. We have the wrongful discharge fund. So basically, members who've been fired wrongfully, right? And there's nothing we really could do. We just gotta, go through the process and whatever. Meanwhile, their income gets cut, right? We're the unions 100% back, and we're gonna send it to arbitration. We're gonna do some actions, whatever. So we want to establish a fund for members in that case. And we have a homeless fund for members. So let's say you had a fire in your house burned, your apartment burned down, okay, and you got nowhere to stay. You have no family, nothing. Your insurance hasn't come in to pay you, so you need something for a motel. Your union should be able to help you out. So that's why we set that up. All right. Again, look at the details in the link. Really check it out. We have some really progressive stuff here, but we have stuff that may be controversial. So you should make your voice known. Officers must publish monthly reports that will be on display for members to read online and at the monthly mass membership meeting. So every time you, as an elected leader, right? We got elections coming up. Maybe you want to run for office, right? Well, we got this bylaw that it's gonna. There is a bylaw that says officers will give reports to the local, but it's not specific enough. It says we have to publish them online, okay? And when it's online, we can set up a secure website. There's ways to do that. But and again, you can even if it wasn't secure, it would still be you redact all that personal information. Okay, and the officers, right? They report on what they want to report on. They don't want to talk about a specific case. They don't have to, but they have to do reports because we pay them to do their work. So they said, yeah, we help save a couple people from getting safeties on punishment day, the so-called discipline day, or we went and led a picket for workplace safety on this day. That should be in the report. The members need to know that the union officers are working for it. And I'm telling you, they are. They really are. We may not, some of us may not agree with what they're doing, how they do it, but they are working, and there should be reports so the membership can know, and the membership can be enlightened, and they can feel that they can see that there's something being done. Okay, officers can agree to nothing with the CTA without membership approval. Nothing. Whether it's a contract issue or a non-contract issue. I'm sorry, but you don't know better. I don't care if you've been here 50 years. You don't know better than over 1,000 people. Okay? We need to be in control of the union, the members. All right? If we got 500 people with 20 years of experience, that's far better than one person or two person with 20, 30, or 40 years experience, okay, or even 5. Next one, officers must resign from the union office if they sue a member. Okay, so we had a case in Local 241. I don't know if it's happened in Local 308, but some very critical members who use colorful language online were sued by elected leaders in 241. Yeah, it's bad. It's actually there's a violation in the bylaws, but the bylaws, when you disparage a member, and our elected leaders, they're co-workers too, and they're members. But the bylaws are there, and they tell you, you bring up charges on people. You don't take them to court, and you bring up charges. But even that, it's like, you're gonna catch a lot being in the spotlight. I'm not even elected, and man, the stuff people put about me. I mean, it's hilarious. Actually, it's kind of flattering, but it's really cruel, and you just got to take it. So you elected leader, and you're being paid to do a job full time for the union. Yeah, you're gonna catch some real cruel words from people, but don't sue them. So if you want to sue a member and you're an elected leader, you got to resign your position. Lastly, members in part-time positions only pay for the portion of dues that are required by the ATU International, not the local. So the new members, most of our new members are part-timers. They start at really low wages. These union dues, these initiation fees are really hard. And we do have something about the initiation fees. We got, I skipped that one on accident. Sorry, that was another one where we reduced the initiation fees too. So as long as you're part time, you only pay the dues that go to the international. Okay, and if you're part time, your initiation fees are reduced from $200 to $100. Uh, what's good about this? What's good about this? What's not good about it is it cuts into our revenue. But what is good about it is it forces our elected leaders to be very serious about fighting for full-time jobs and eliminating the part-time uh, position, because the type of jobs we do are very safety sensitive. Whether you a CA all the way up to a trackman, and everything in between, it's real serious. And then when we go back to our communities, we have to build our communities. And it's real hard to build communities on part-time jobs with poor benefits. And a lot of us come from communities that have been devastated economically. It's important for the unions to be revolutionary and stand up for that. Ooh, this was a long one. I apologize. I really hope you found this inspirational, and you join us at the Justice Coalition, ChicagoTransitWorker.com, and whatever you want to do to help us to inspire coworkers. But more importantly, we need you to put in feedback and fill out that survey. Fill out this survey about these bylaw proposals, and then so we can turn these in and we can recruit to get you all to come out and vote to support these bylaws. Thank you so much. Peace.